mentioned a number of times on this channel, one of my favorite cuts is cheap cuts of meat, and lamb shank is no exception. And I generously start off by salting it to give it to season the meat itself and also draw out the water from the lamb shank itself. And while I set that aside, I'm going to julienne some onion that I'm going to caramelize, and I'm going to use this to enhance the flavor of the soup. And while that process is starting, I'm going to chop up some bell pepper, tomato, carrots, and onion. Nice giant pieces, as those are going to get cooked in the soup later to add flavor to it. And once after an hour, you see the water being drawn out, I dry it and I set it aside, and my onion is now caramelized. I'm going to put in a good dose of oil, and I'm going to fry and baste the lamb shank until it is brown. And after that is done, I'm going to use that same oil to do a quick cook of the vegetable. Not actually cook it, just cook it a little. Heat up some chicken broth, add in that caramelized onion from earlier, and with some Worcestershire sauce, balsamic vinegar, and red wine. And I put that in the oven to braise the lamb shank for about an hour. Take it out, add the vegetables so that way I don't melt them away, and I put it back into the oven. And we are cooking this nice and slow, so I'm doing 325 Fahrenheit for about 3 hours. You need a long time to cook these tough cuts of meat because you need to break down all the fat and the collagen. Now, this is a very heavy dish overall. Lamb shanks are kind of fatty, so I'm gonna make a sauce to go with it. And I'm making something that's, I believe, Mediterranean inspired, using yogurt and cucumber. And this dish actually is cool because I can serve it up a number of different ways, which you will see at the end of this episode. And I'm gonna season up that sauce or the garnish with yogurt, adding more to the yogurt and cucumber. I'm gonna add some dill to freshen it up, salt, and white pepper. I'm using white pepper to keep the color a little nicer, more consistent, because it doesn't look really good if you have all these little black dots. Now, one of the ways you could eat this dish is to basically wrap it in butter lettuce leaves and use that garnish I just showed earlier. So after 3 hours, this meat has now it's falling off the bone. It's very tender, it's very soft, and I have a very nice soup that I can enjoy either with the lamb or separately or by itself. So as you can see, I'm separating the bone for it, and the meat is just falling right off easily. And I'm shredding the meat by just using my tongs to kind of push them apart. That's how tender it is. It is so tender and juicy right now. It's been soaking up all that extra flavoring from the vegetables that is in the soup, and because I've been flipping it back and forth, it has a chance also to cook some of the bone into the stock itself. And you want to salt it because the interior still could use some salting. So this is one way to eat it, where you basically just wrap the meat with some of the cucumber yogurt and a nice butter lettuce. Another way is to just have the soup by itself, where you just eat it with a nice soft bread and just use it to soak up the soup. And finally, the last way is to mix all of them together and top it off with some yogurt. Well, I hope you liked this episode, and I hope you come back another time to see another episode. Enjoy! Please like and subscribe.